Hey everyone, Brandon here, host of the Devy Deep Dive podcast and creator of the Devy Dashboard. Welcome to my channel and thanks for tuning in. Got a great show here. We're going to do a rookie profile film on Mr. Jerome Ford, Cincinnati running back. He is a junior headed to the NFL draft. If you enjoy this channel, I got tons of great stuff, everything from Devy to Dynasty. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Got tons of great content coming up. You take a look at the channel, see all the great stuff that I have. You can follow me on Twitter at Devy Deep Dive, and of course, if you want some information on the Devy Dashboard, which is the ultimate Devy research tool out there, hit me up in the show notes below. You'll see my email address and you can reach out to me. And also, please leave a comment on this film. Tell me what you think about Jerome Ford. We're going to be taking a look at his analytical profile and we're going to be digging into the film. I am a film guy first and foremost, so I am excited. Today, in this particular episode, I am joined by Corey Piera, one of my favorite Devy analysts out there. He's going to join me in the film room shortly, but first let's go through some of the production and analytical profile of Jerome Ford. All right, let's get to it. He's a four-star prospect out of Florida. He is 5'11", 220 pounds. He is a redshirt junior, basically. He's going to be 23 years old when the draft happens here in a few months, so he's a little bit older of a prospect. But nonetheless, let's take a look at his production stats. 2018 and 2019, he basically got really not a lot of playing time at Alabama. That's where he went. We all know about the great Alabama running back, so he really didn't get an opportunity. 2020, he decided that he was going to transfer, went to Cincinnati, played behind Dokes, who really was the lead back in 2020 for Cincinnati. And then this year in 2021, he got the rock with 215 attempts, 1,319 yards, 6.1 average, and 19 touchdowns. So once he was given the opportunity this year, he certainly excelled. So let's take a look at his market share. He had a 55% market share, which is great. He led that backfield all season. And we're going to see that in all the good clips here shortly in the film room. The offense, he had a 26% market share of all of the offense, which is pretty damn good considering as a running back. A lot of running backs maybe are in the 30, 35, but nonetheless, they were a passing team as well. But, from an offensive standpoint, he certainly was a big contributor. Touchdowns, he represented 30% basically of all of the touchdowns that Cincinnati scored last year. So he was certainly a productive player. Some additional stats here. He had 15 plus yards runs. He had 15 runs that were 15 plus yards. These stats are courtesy of PFF. Just so you're aware. Yards after contact, he was at 3.7. But going back to that runs for 15 plus, just to give you some context, Kenneth Walker Jr., who's also going to the NFL draft, had 30 15-plus runs, and Breece Hall had 22. So he wasn't as explosive as those two backs, but still, nonetheless, he had 15 runs this year that were plus 15 yards. So he has that explosiveness to his game. Yards after contact, he was 3.07, which is about average. Walker, again, referring to him, he led the nation last year, Kenneth Walker, in yards after contact at 4.46. Tyler Algier came in shortly thereafter at 4.15. So as a comparison tool, so you can kind of see where Jerome Ford kind of ended up, 3.07, not the best, but not the worst either, right? And a gap zone, he was a 50-50 split, which is great because most NFL analysts out there who are really looking at these rookies are really looking at the scheme fits. So I think that the fact that he has ability in both of those schemes is actually going to be very good for him. So from an analytical profile, a lot of guys are in the analytics. I get it. I'm more of a film guy, but nonetheless, I want to provide that information to you. He had a dominator of 29.1. And then he had a career weighted dominator of 27.6. So those are pretty good. They're not spectacular. They're not elite, but nonetheless, you could tell that, when he got the opportunity, he certainly excelled. He has a BMI of 30.68, which is really good. He's got a weight listed at 220, but when we watch his film here shortly, to me personally, he looks a little lighter than 220 pounds. He looks more like 210, but nonetheless, I'm going to be really interested when he gets to the combine exactly what he comes in as far as his measurables. Now, from a yards per team attempt, he was 1.78, and that's about above average. 2.0 was really the threshold for, guys that are really excelling. Anything above 1.5 is admirable and is decent. Anything below 1.5 might be just a little bit of a concern. But nonetheless, it shows you that he was a contributor on this offense. And his weight adjusted speed score is one is 111, and two, you're going to see when we get to the film room here shortly, man, this guy's got some burst. He's got some speed down the field. So I don't think speed necessarily is going to be a concern for him. In fact, I think that he has the ability, that's going to be one of the feathers in his cap as we get more into the draft capital and seeing what the scouts and stuff as we get closer to the draft think of him. But nonetheless, he's got some good speed. So his strengths and weaknesses before we get to the film room, let's just go through these real quick. He played in both the zone and the gap, which I think is great. Again, I know that NFL analysts and scouts out there are really looking for scheme fits with certain players. I know NFL teams look for that in running backs. So the fact that he has the ability to do both and has experience in both, I think is great. He caught 21 balls, all right, in 2021. He only had 10 catches in 2019 and 2020. So that was a big knock on Jerome Ford heading into the 2021 season, is the fact that he never really caught a lot of footballs. But this year he caught a little bit more. He caught 21. So he really exceeded, he doubled basically what he did in the previous 2 years. He looks pretty natural doing it. As you're going to see when we get to the film room, he's got some ability to catch the ball vertical as well as out in the flat and those dump out passes that most running backs get. He's got low mileage, man. I mean, he really, really does. I mean, take a look at the stats that we just went through, right? Look at the stats on the page here. Before this past year, he didn't get a lot of, carries much at all. So he has low mileage on the treads. So he's going to be a fresh back as he goes to the NFL draft. All right, his weaknesses, a lot of analytic guys are going to knock his early production. But you're playing at Bama. What do you expect when you go to Bama? You're not going to get on the field as a young guy. That's just, we've seen it for the last 2 years with Najee Harris and all these guys that come through the pipeline. Brian Robinson Jr., he had to wait his turn. So that's not, that's a knock. I'm putting it as a weakness because I know there's a lot of guys talking about it, that, the lack of early production, late breakout age, right? Same kind of thing as far as a weakness. Forget about it. Let's look at his traits. Let's look at his skills and what he's got now that he got the full-time opportunity in 2021. That's what I'm focused on, not so much of exactly what he did in the past. And pass blocking is probably one of his weaknesses. Again, I think that he has the physicality to do that in the pass blocking game, but the diagnosing, where the blitz is coming from and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes he does look lost back there. But nonetheless, man, let's get right to the film room. Let's introduce Corey here. I'm so excited he's joining me in the film room, and then I'll see you on the other side. All right, man. Welcome to the film room. I'm here with one of my favorite analysts out in the Devy space, Corey Piera, man. How are you doing today, Corey?
I'm doing great, man. I'm excited about the prospect we're going to look at today. He's a little higher on my list than some, but we'll see. We'll take a look at his film today.
Yeah, I know. And man, we've been trying to get together for a long time. So I know this is your off season for work and everything. So we're going to be doing a lot of these films. I mean, you're going to see Corey on a ton of these films coming, more as we dive into. In fact, we're going to be doing Rashad White here very shortly as well. So let's get right to it, man. Jerome Ford, like you said, Corey, I know you're a big fan of him. So I know you've got a lot to say. We were going to dive into all the criteria that we look for in running backs. The first criteria that we are going to take a look at is his vision and patience. And I think we're going to like what we see when it comes to the vision and patience. What we're going to do, like we normally do on this film grinds, we're going to kind of run through these and then maybe go back and take a look and quickly discuss. But, again, we're looking here at his patience and vision. So, one thing I noticed, Corey, watching all of these clips is his, I like how he manipulates defenders in a lot of these runs. We're going to see that. What are your thoughts on this first play here?
Yeah, and especially this one too. I mean, even when you're going right off the line, it looks like this play is designed right to go to the left. He's going to get, 5-6 yards out of that easy, but somehow he identifies this cutback lane behind number 72. Like I remember watching this run, I was just like amazed. I don't know how he identifies that in all that traffic, and then he just hits the gas. I mean, it's an impressive run. I love this run.
Yeah, we're going to talk about his speed in a little bit, but we'll just play the rest of this clip out. This could have gone under his speed, right?
Yeah.
I really like this play here. Again, let's take a look at it. Again, what I really like about this is I like how he presses the line here to hold back this defender just shortly, and then, has the lateral ability and makes that guy miss there, and then, shows the tough yards afterward. But you can see how he presses right here. He doesn't quickly go to the left, but he kind of presses, get that defender to run up.
Yeah, like and he essentially did what we want to see. You created a one-on-one with that defender, the number 27, I believe there. The rest of the line took care of their job. He's got the one-on-one. Just make your guy miss, and you're going to get your yards. And what does he do? He makes the guy miss, and he's gone.
That's right. And he shows some good, dragging that tackler there.
Yeah.
I like the patience on this particular run. I like the way, he kind of followed his blocker, put his hand on his back, and just took what was given to him, saw that
Yeah.
first down marker and said, "Yeah, man, I'm just following my big man down the field."
Yeah, I mean, even the guy coming from the right up there, and he's coming right on him, and he notices him, cuts back to the inside of his guy a little bit, and then gets a few extra yards out of it, makes a first down out of it. I mean, this is a lot of things that in 2020 I felt he didn't do, whereas I saw a
Mhm.
massive improvement this year, especially with his vision and patience. He became more natural runner.
Yeah, now here is again, I like how he presses the line, right? He's worrying about this linebacker right here, in the end zone. And I like how he kind of presses him, gets him to stop. You can see how he's pivoted to the inside, and then, he's got a wide open gap here. But again, just look at how that defender works to the inside a little bit. He kind of makes him pause just a little bit. So I really feel like Ford, honestly, he really kind of looks for the defensive manipulation, which I think is awesome in a running
Yeah,
back. Instead of just running to open space, he's kind of trying to work those defenders over. I think that's an important aspect of him going to the NFL. Again, I think he also did a nice press here. Again, he's got that linebacker, and he
yeah,
doesn't. He could have easily cut outside to the left here and had a run. Tried to go around the edge. But again, I like how he pressed inside. Got that. You can see the defender again being pressed inside, thinking he's going inside, and then he's got that
yeah.
breakaway outside speed. I thought that was again just a fantastic play.
Yeah, he's got him on his back. He makes the defender come forward, gets him on his back foot, and then he's gone. Like you said, he does a lot of that. The press, it's like the bait and go. He
Yep,
baits him into a
exactly.
spot, and then he's just gone before you can even make a move. And his speed helps with that too. Like you said, we'll get into that, but
Hmm. All right, this is a game against Bama, and we want to thank the Dynasty nerds, and Breakshot Media for the film here. We got this off YouTube, so Dynasty nerds, check them out. They got a lot of great stuff going on over there. So this is the Bama game that they put together, again, and we wanted to see him play against the best competition.
yeah,
Now this play here, I thought he maybe rushed it a little bit and
yeah, he could
had
have
the
been more
ability to
patient.
cut outside. He could have cut to the left a little bit, and instead, kind of just took on the hit.
Yeah, 47 breaks through pretty quickly. And
Mhm.
I kind of think in this situation, it was about we got 1 yard. I want to get the one
Yep, that's
yard.
true.
And he
That's
kind of
true.
just got the 1 yard and got through with it. You know what I mean? But yeah, like Alabama's D line is just ridiculous. And 47 was broken through that play immediately. Like
Right.
I did
Now
think
this
this game in general, he did a pretty good job against one of the better run defenses in the country for sure.
Yeah, now this play here, again, I would have liked to have seen him bounce outside to the right. He sees these two tacklers. Would have liked to have seen him maybe cut outside. Instead, he goes right into the contact where I felt that there was some space out here
Hmm.
to do that. Again, trying to like, well, look, man, when we do these film grinds, we're trying to look at the good stuff, but we want to try and poke holes in it too, because that's what the NFL scouts are doing too. So again, I think he
Yeah.
had the opportunity, the vision here. I think he could have tried to go outside on this particular play,
And a
and
little
he could have.
hesitation here too, right here, where he kind of can't
Mhm.
decide what exactly he wants to do. It's like if you're going to take on the guys, then just drive forward or bounce outside. Like
Yeah,
make the decision. He kind of hesitates right here, and then he could have maybe got a few more yards. I mean, he almost gets a first down, but that's kind
he
of his
should.
power taking over there, I guess.
Yeah, well, look, you got to give it to him, dude. He took on those tacklers and got an extra 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, yeah.
So, again,
And then
I thought he could have gone outside a little
see,
bit.
I was gonna look at this too, and I think a lot of college guys want to bounce outside right away and take their speed to the edge. I kind of like that he just saw an initial hole and just gunned it forward through there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
and
right here, you've
mhm.
got a bunch of space to the right. He could have just gone, but he sees a small crease where he thinks he can beat that linebacker inside. And I think he kind of just took it. Like you said, I think maybe with his speed, he probably could have got outside. But I did like to see that decisiveness instead of that tendency to bounce outside that you see from a lot
Mhm.
of college backs.
Yeah, and again, he could have been trying to just get that first down, right? And
Yeah.
you get there, you get early. But I like his pad level. I like how he went and just took on that defender, showed some toughness there for sure. All right, let's take a look at his footwork and lateral quickness. I think he's got overall really good skills in this. I saw some good and not so good, but I mean, I thought this
Yeah.
originally, this was what, made that defender
Mhm.
miss. And again, showed some good contact balance and toughness there at the end of the run.
Yeah,
Again,
and I think you really have to watch, like, in contrast with somebody like we're gonna do Rashad White. I urge everybody to go check that out, when it comes out as well. But you see the suddenness that Ford has in his
yes, he
cuts
does.
compared to somebody like a Rashad White who maybe took a couple more steps or planted a little more to get that jump head. It's very sudden with Ford.
Yeah, it does really good. I thought lateral movement here again. Um, nimbling his way through, and
Yeah.
then I love his burst too on the outside on that particular
Yeah.
play. I mean, he really kind of did a nice job bouncing outside, and he's got some really good acceleration, which we're going to look at. Okay, here again, just I like the quick feet on this particular play.
Yeah.
And he's got some jump cuts and some stuff, and
Yeah, he's able to string together moves pretty easily. Like he doesn't lose a lot of momentum stringing together a lot of these cuts and going different directions.
mhm,
Yeah, even there, like I mean, it's so quick. You know what it reminds me of a little bit was, maybe not as harsh, but DeAndre Swift's dead leg when he would punch that thing and be able to get away from guys.
right.
Like that suddenness is like it's really evident in this film.
I
Yeah,
like
and
his
when I first
ability.
yeah, when I first saw this play, I thought he was almost a little too patient. I was like, oh no, he's gonna get bottled up, and then all of a sudden he busts out of there. I mean, I guess against Tulane, sometimes you can get away with some of that stuff, but
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think his footwork is relatively good. I mean,
yeah. And again, especially on the second level, again, I always talk about the improvement I saw in him from 2020, but this is a lot of the stuff you didn't necessarily see in 2020. He would have a wide open hole, hit it, and be gone. And he wasn't making a bunch of moves or anything like that, but it was a big improvement this year. He really got his legs under him.
I feel like when he has speed, he loses a little bit of his footwork, right? Like I think he runs sometimes out of control, right? You put his head down, he's going, but like this one right here,
Yeah.
again, instead of trying to, move this again against Bama, again, he has the ability maybe to do. I mean, he just takes a wicked hit there, but I
Yeah.
think in the second level, his footwork struggles a little bit to really make the dead leg cut. I mean, not that you want him
Yeah.
to slow down and lose his acceleration, but I think you're going to see in this clip here coming up too. It's just again he gets just
Yeah.
doesn't
And it's
have
that
the
there's a little bit
dead
of
leg.
hesitation there too, as well,
Mhm.
right here, where he's kind of like, what am I gonna do? I don't know. And then he gets caught right away. Like there is a little bit of that throughout his film too.
He's playing bad memes. He's probably just trying to not make a
Yeah.
mistake, on the
Probably
big
trying not to look
stage,
bad.
but.
Yeah. Oh, this play. Yeah, this one's nice. He almost hits an extra gear there at the 40-yard line. Like
Right.
right here, he's going, splits these two guys, and then the 40, it seems like he pulls away even more.
Yeah,
It's quick.
it's impressive. I mean, he's got that second level speed on here that we're going to see in all of these clips. We're going to run through these, but
Yeah.
again, and then when he hits it and he makes his
And
decision,
the burst, yeah,
he's
exactly.
off. He's gone.
Yeah, and if
So
anybody doesn't know, I mean, we're talking about a guy who ran in the 10.5s for 100-meter, loosely translates to like a 4.4, high 4.3. So, I mean, like the speed is there. That's one thing you're not going to have to worry about with this guy. And at 215 or 210 around that area is what me and Brandon kind of think he's more at, even though he's listed at the 220.
yeah,
It's a good
right.
size and a good speed for him.
Yeah, I agree. So I don't think we have to worry about his speed, his strength and contact balance. I'm like hit or miss with him. I see some good stuff. Again, we're going to start off with the Bama film here. You're going to
And
see the toughness
this
he
was probably
brings.
his best. Yeah, this game in general, he really drove through. I don't know if he just kind of told himself the only way I'm getting through Alabama is if I put my head down and go,
That's right. Yeah.
which is what I saw a lot. And in other films you didn't see as much. I remember I even messaged you to the side and I said make sure you throw some Alabama
That's
film
right.
in there just so we have some to look at because there wasn't a
I
whole
mean, look at
bunch,
this.
but
I mean, look at this
yeah,
guy. I mean, so given his size, I mean, he's got the ability. I thought his contact balance on this particular play. I like his pad level. He continued to balance and then took on that hit.
yeah,
He
able
got
to catch
tripped
his
up
feet.
here, catch his feet. So I think he's got some decent contact balance. Um, again, I just saw
Yeah,
him
oh
like,
yeah.
trying to shed tackles here. Again, just poor tackling, but
It is
nonetheless,
poor
I mean,
tackling, but he just slips him.
he just slips him. I mean, so I feel as though he's like I said, he's got some decent contact balance and some drive. I mean, carrying tacklers. Like I said, I don't know if he's 220. He just doesn't look 220 out here. His lower half looks a little thinner to be that. But again, the way he has the ability, regardless of what his size
Yeah.
is. I mean, he's got the ability to stay on his feet and shed that contact.
Yeah, I love that touchdown run against Indiana. That was a nice one there where he just kind
I
of
mean,
busted off the guy.
this is like really impressive here. I mean, this is a really good run.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just keep grinding, keep dragging tacklers.
Yeah, he needed that number 14 needed a second guy to help bring him down. I mean,
He runs with good pad level.
yeah.
I mean, that's a hell of a run right there. Slippery
Oh.
through the spot. He just, I mean,
I don't
just
know. By the sounds of this film, I was expecting a little more negative. I think I'm starting to win you over on a little bit of Jerome Ford here.
come on, man. I'm not the Devy Reaper on every prospect.
Yeah.
I got to be real sometimes. So his pass catching, right? I think
Yeah.
is great. I think he's, I'm not sure how many receptions he's had in his entire career. But I mean, look at this downfield. This was a really nice play. Underthrown ball here by Ritter. But again,
Waits
I mean,
for
I
it.
think
Yeah.
this is going to be a feather in his cap in the NFL. He is going to be a PPR opportunity back.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, I've mentioned it in a couple places before, but if anybody's just seeing this for the first time, Jerome Ford did play a ton of wide receiver in high school. He had more receptions and more receiving yards than he did rushing and rushing yards. So he was essentially a wide receiver. He led his high school team in receiving. So this is definitely a skill set. And like you said, at Cincinnati, they didn't ask him to do a ton, but we do the stuff they did ask him to do. He did pretty damn good. So it's definitely going to be one of the traits he excels at the next level.
Yeah, I mean I mean, he's just not a guy going out of the backfield like this play. I mean, he can do this.
Yeah.
I like his adjustment on this play. I thought was really good.
Yeah. Hands
Turns
catch. Yeah.
upfield. So I think he could be a vertical weapon in the passing game as we saw from those earlier. Again, I just like the adjustment, that he makes kind of on this ball.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
behind him and to the other side. He looks almost the wrong way at first, but he's able to adjust to the other shoulder and catch it. So
yeah. So that's the film grind, man. I mean, I think overall, I think Jerome Ford is, where do you have him ranked on the dashboard? I mean, I think you got him what, number 5 or 6?
I have him 4 actually. So
4?
I'm
Okay.
definitely really high on Ford, and it comes from a lot of the improvement that I've seen too, where he was at Bama, and like I said before, he was raw as a wide receiver coming in more so, and then he still kind of took a while to get his feet under him. Went to Cincinnati, had to play second fiddle for a while, and some of the
Right.
film around there, it was good. You saw some flashes, but also a lot of missed holes, running into his linemen, this and that. And then this year, it was just kind of exploded and went all together. So I see this trend of this guy who's really excelling, getting better and better at this position, getting more natural, letting his athletic abilities come out. So this is a guy that I'm excited to see at the next level. And, we see guys like Antonio Gibson where these teams will take chances on these guys and let them kind of learn as well on the job. Like Antonio Gibson's not a perfect running back, but he's big, he's fast, and he can catch the
Right.
ball. So you want to try to let him learn on the job in a sense, even too. And I even think Ford is more experienced coming in, or a better runner at least coming in. So I'm excited to see what he can do at the next level.
Well, did you've made me a believer. So I appreciate you joining on yeah, man. Yeah, so I appreciate you jumping in on the film room, man. All right. And I'll we're gonna be doing a ton of these things together, man. Thanks for tuning in with us.
Anytime, man. Take it easy.
All right. Yep. All right, man. I hope you enjoyed that film room grind that gives you an opportunity to see what we see. You might not agree with us. You might not. It doesn't matter. But nonetheless, it's a great film for you to do your own scouting. That's why I love providing these videos. So draft capital. Let's talk about real quick before we leave the draft capital, right? I mean, I think he is possible day 2, maybe late 3rd round. But more likely, I think an early day 3 pick is where he's going to come off the board. All right. As far as the dynasty projection, I think he's an RB2. I don't really see him as a guy that's going to come in and lead a backfield. I think he's going to be that good complementary back that, if given the opportunity for like the RB1 on a specific team, may get hurt, that he might come in and really do an admirable job running in between the tackles, that pass catching back, a nice complementary back. But as we've seen, some of these guys get the opportunity. The NFL, I really feel if you really go through all the teams, there are RB1 openings out there in the NFL. So it'll be interesting to see where he lands and what ability and what if someone gives him the opportunity to take over a backfield. It could happen. We'll have to see, right? Now, as far as a pro comp, I get asked this all the time. First off, I'm freaking terrible at comps, but I'm going to give you one anyway. He looks like his running style to me is like an Alexander Madison, a guy from Minnesota who plays behind Dalvin Cook. He just kind of looks like a slasher. He's quick. He's bursty. He's got that kind of physicality, but sometimes you question his play strength, but nonetheless, he's physical when he needs to be. So That is my pro comp. And I'm, like I said, I'm terrible at comps, but I'm going to throw it out there because I get asked all the time on the Devy dashboard, like, well, who's your pro comp? Who's your pro comp? So I'm going to throw them into these videos anyway. So, all right, man, there's my show. I hope you learned something with the film grind, a couple analytical numbers, and give you an overview of what you think Jerome Ford is. So again, please, subscribe, leave a comment, love chatting with everybody. And I really, really appreciate you tuning in, and I got a lot of great stuff on the way. All right, man. Thanks.